generational wealth is about packaging the values that have worked for you as a family and passing them on to the next generation.
Wow.
In a relationship, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
You should provide your partner with the comfort that he needs to be able to actually give his best.
Yeah.
So I struggled to identify different role models as I was growing up.
It's not a competition.
Wow.
It's
Say
a
that again.
partnership.
Say that again.
It's not a competition. It's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
Welcome, viewers. This is your host, Joyce Gikunju, inspirational speaker, published author, and podcast show host. And this is the Bounce Back Podcast, your self-help business show for the entrepreneur in you.
Yeah, so we are back and we are continuing with the story of Joe and Liz, and it's about the book, This Life is Personal, a Blueprint for Family, Money and Retirement by Joseph Iha, known to his friends as Joe, with Elizabeth TAKA, known to friends as Liz. So Joe and Liz. And so I want to read about the author on the book. And it says that the author, Joseph Iha, says that he was people-made, rising from a background which issued nothing but invitations to fail. Iha determinedly pursued an education and a career in banking, leveraging relationships and networks, and working with laser focus to rise to the highest echelons. Retiring after 20 years, shortly before his 50th birthday, he is now living out a blissful retirement with his wife, Elizabeth TAKA, and their 3 sons, Ted, Will, and Mark. He now shares insights as a retired banker turned entrepreneur, personal trainer, and loving husband and father. Welcome back, Joe.
Thank you.
Right. We are diving back into the deep end. And I want to read about, I now want to go into the testimonials of people who have read the book. And this is a law graduate, Nadia Achieng. And Nadia says that the book is such an insightful read that she says, I couldn't put it down once I held it. Yeah, she doesn't say much about why, but she says she couldn't put the book down. Let's move to Benedict Nouvier, who made a comment on social media. Benedict says that This Life is Personal improved my perspective towards family, money, and retirement. Those who haven't gone through the book, please make sure to get a copy. There's so much knowledge and wisdom in this book. Do you know Nadia or Benedict?
Yeah, I know Nadia. Actually, a young graduate of law. Is a niece. I'm very proud of her comment and confession that she started reading and she could not put the book down.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. One is most young people have not embraced the culture of reading.
Yeah.
And if you read the dedication of this book, it was dedicated to my children,
Yes.
my nephews and nieces, and the younger generations.
Yeah.
Because we need to encourage them to start the habit and culture of reading. So for her to have started reading and read it through to the end, and confirming that it's worth reading is a serious validation even for the younger people.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second reason is because, we assume, and that's why I'm saying some of these fundamentals of some fundamental values of money, family, financial planning, investments, they are lifelong values, fundamentals. They never change. So for her, at her age to
Yes.
read and find it useful and resonate with it
Yes.
is also a validation that even young people can read through these concepts and find them applicable in their context.
Yeah.
So an encouragement for young people to also grab the book and read and get more insights. Benedict is a banker.
Yes.
In Tanzania, is one of the people I worked with at one of the banks. He's now a manager in the bank. And you see, sometimes we imagine that bankers are financial experts. And therefore they are financially literate and they don't need any financial information. So coming from a banker like Benedict saying he has found valuable lessons on money and family and retirement planning is also a serious endorsement.
Yes.
Even what we think, or the people we think they are financially literate, also are struggling with the money issues.
Yeah.
And I'm proud that he actually found time to read it. And even those, the people who call themselves financial gurus,
Yes.
there is a lesson to learn from every book.
Yeah.
So don't assume these are things you already know. Read the book. You
Yes.
never know what you will come out with as a key takeaway. Yes.
I want to dive into another reader's comments. Moses Mutuku. Mutuku says, "Hello, sir. I recently completed reading your masterpiece, This Life is Personal. I just wanted to reach out and appreciate you for the massive impact you have had in how I approach my life and wealth building. I had previously never even thought about retirement. Thank you." Oh, and a little backstory on how I got to read your fantastic book. I was actually introduced to your work by my mother, Dr. Agnes Mutuku, and she also gave me your number. Thank you for this book, and I really hope you continue writing more books.
Thank you, Moses. Thank you very much. I actually don't know Moses. He reached out, but as I said, because we published numbers in the social media,
Yes.
the mother ordered for the book after watching a social media clip. She read it.
Yes.
And insisted on her son to also read it.
Yes.
So it's the son now writing back. I think the mother gave him my contact.
Yes.
It's the son writing to appreciate the kind of insights that he got from the book.
Yeah.
And I think this, again, goes down to what we emphasize in the book.
Yes.
The discussion of money at the family level. And ensuring whatever you learn, if you find it useful, pass it on to somebody else in your circle so that we empower one another.
Yes.
And one at a time, eventually we have an empowered community.
Yeah. What I'm hearing from you is these conversations really should be had at the dinner table. After you clear the table, can you sit as a family and have conversations? They might be uncomfortable at first, but with time, they will become comfortable, comfortable conversations. That's what
Especially
I'm hearing.
those conversations are held without judging.
Yes.
Because you have to create the safe space.
Yes.
For people to open up and become vulnerable on the table. Because if they are not able to do that at the table, then they will do it in spaces that are not very safe for them. So the best place to do it is at the dinner table, at the dining table.
Yeah.
Where everybody is there. And then we have this culture as a family where we eat together.
Yes.
Yeah, so weekends when everybody is not having a program, we make sure we sit together.
Yeah.
We eat.
Yes.
Breakfast, we eat together.
Yes.
Dinner, it's a choice. We don't, most of the time we don't have dinner. But lunch and breakfast,
yes,
we sit
Yes.
After that, we just converse.
Yeah.
And they are random topics. Yeah. So I think if you, once in a while, you get a moment where you can emphasize a specific issue.
Yes.
And that's how you transmit knowledge.
Yes.
Without pressure.
Informally.
Yes.
I'm also hearing something that keeps coming up. Habits, traditions, being intentional about how you live life. And, traditionally people used to sit together at the dinner table. With Wi-Fi, how do you make that happen in your home?
That's a challenge.
Yes.
It's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge we have to contend with because Wi-Fi now has become a necessity. So you have to be intentional.
Yes.
I think sometimes we have to agree, let's put our phones aside.
Oh, wow.
And let's have breakfast and let's talk.
Oh.
Yeah. So there are moments like that.
Yes.
When you find people are engrossed in there, like, guys, we are here as a family.
Yeah.
Can we put our gadgets aside unless it's an emergency?
Yes.
And people, I think eventually, if everybody sees value, they will comply with that. They will not take it as a punishment.
Yes.
That they are being forced to keep their phones off.
Yes.
But it comes with time, gradually. I think, as you said, initially it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
But eventually, people get used to it, and you have healthy conversations.
There's a clip that keeps going around, and it's now been done by various cultures, of the way when it's time for dinner, the mother serves you only when you surrender all your phones. And in most of these clips, you find it's the father who has to first surrender his phone, then the wife is still not serving, and then he produces another phone, and then he served his food. When he wants more food, he has to surrender the third phone. So what I'm hearing here is that the leadership is coming from you. You are leading by example. Yes.
Leading by example, but also it should not appear like it's a punishment. I think the best thing is to gradually introduce it as a culture that everybody knows. When you get to the table, let's pay attention, let's be present.
Oh,
Then eventually it becomes a routine that everybody adheres to.
Yeah.
But again, it starts with the parents.
Yes.
Because they are watching. You can't be telling them, don't be on your phone, and you are the one who is continuous. So do as I say, not as I do. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because monkey see, monkey do.
Monkey see, monkey do. Right. Let's go to Diana Tor, another reader who says that the book provides, in active sense, valuable insights into achieving financial independence. And, I love this one, personal fulfillment. Yeah. It emphasizes the importance of early retirement planning, balancing work and family, and building wealth through discipline and clear principles. The book is both inspirational and rich with actionable advice for those striving to live a purposeful and intentional life. Do you know Diana?
I know Diana. I think she was Liz's former colleague. And she was among the first people to buy and read the book.
Wonderful.
And she there is what people write, but then there are those who call and give their feedback on how impactful the book has been to them. Yeah. She's one of them. I think it has had a profound impact in the way she does. As she's practical, I think she shared copies of almost several pages of notes.
Wow.
That she had taken from the book. Yeah. So she's an active reader. Whatever she finds useful, she notes down. Yeah. And she purposes to implement. And she has been following through on advices. So that's somebody who is eager to learn and apply. Yes. Because reading a book is one thing. Application is where the challenge is. Yes. So knowledge alone will not make you succeed. What you do with that knowledge when you get it is what will transform you
Yeah.
eventually. So I encourage every reader to be as practical as Diana is.
A lot of people do their first book and then follow it up with a workbook because of the actionable steps that you're saying.
Yes.
Is this something that you're planning to do so that when you do talks about the book, you can do, and you're a trainer, you can actually have everyone having a workbook and then you work through application chapter by chapter? Is this something that is in the works?
That's the next step.
Yes.
Because you see, there's so much knowledge cut across the book.
Yeah.
To help people implement.
Yes.
And, effectively use some of the concepts. I think there is need to come with a workbook.
With a workbook.
Yeah, that's something we need to help those who are willing to implement, start on the journey.
But don't know how.
Don't know how.
Yes.
Then we put a practical guide.
Lynette Kwamboka Otuori, director at the Institute for Gender and Social Development, Kenya School of Government, has written a very long endorsement, but I'm just going to pick the highlights. She says that this book will empower the readers with the right attitudes and behaviors. That's coming from a teacher. KSA, knowledge, skill, attitude. And then I am indeed humbled to have interacted closely with Joe during his transformative years as we studied together at the University of Nairobi. Even after parting ways after college, as we pursued our different career paths, I have maintained an honorable association with both Joe and his wife that make it a delight to write this endorsement. Wow. Looking back, I clearly recall how Joe maintained a steady relationship with his girlfriend, now wife, and together they have been able to establish such a great family. They have endlessly worked together to support family and community members who are disadvantaged to access opportunities for school and self-empowerment. I think I remember you saying that. It is an understatement to avow that Joe has stayed in the course and his efforts have transformed the manner in which anyone would handle life's challenges. I retrace this journey with a clear view of the milestones that Joe has attained, which I encourage you to read this book. It is gratifying to pay tribute to the great work that Joe has and continues to exemplify in this book. And finally, she says, I encourage readers of this book to remain resolute in their call to pursue their goals despite the myriad of challenges that may encounter in their journey of life. Your encounters with Lynette, now that you are in uni together?
Director Lynette.
Yes.
Has been a close associate. We were in school together. We have remained in touch. She read the book with the hindsight of knowing the people she's writing about and the stories we have said in the book, having witnessed for herself.
Yeah.
Lynette has been to our home in the village. She's seen our people and the kind of environment we have, we have some overcome. She has seen some of the works that we do in terms of helping the people who are, trying to lift from the community.
Yes.
So I think she was endorsing that with the insight of knowing firsthand that she has what we are saying.
Yeah.
Are some of the things that she has witnessed us do.
Yes.
Practically. And we feel very honored for her endorsement.
Yeah.
As well.
This topic would not be complete without me reading snippets of the foreword, which were done by Azim Jamal, co-author of the #1 international bestseller, The Power of Giving.
Yeah.
And I think if these are the people you hang around, then I can understand why for you it's not complete until you pay it forward. Yeah. And so Azim Jamal says that he met you when you were, let me read it verbatim. I met Joseph Iha when he was the MD of a bank in Tanzania. We coincidentally ran into each other just as I was walking out of another meeting and he was leaving his office. We decided to get together for coffee, and he eventually engaged me to work with his staff and as his personal coach. Hashtag mentors, Gen Z's in the house. The main thing I find striking about him is his decisiveness. Serious about transformation. And he said it was a no-brainer for him to hire my company. He had me speak once at a public event and read my column in The Citizen, a weekly Tanzanian newspaper. When I later asked why he was so decisive, he said that paying for transformation was worth every penny. Joseph has written this book because he came from a disadvantaged background, pursued knowledge and success, changed his narrative, and is now serving as a role model for others in similar circumstances. What I'm hearing, Joe, is you did not run away from your circumstances. This life is personal is the mantra that guided him to take full ownership and control over his life and shape his destiny. So, in this book, he shares the following lessons he has learned in his role as an MD and other lifelong education. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to mention the keywords that are coming out of each. Contrary to common beliefs, success and family are compatible, you know. The other one about blissful retirement, it is a psychological as well as economic planning. The two go together. And he experienced this firsthand and explains how one can plan. I'm hearing the word planning a lot. And the one I love. It is possible to start disadvantaged, and still become legitimately wealthy and financially free. It's all about mastery. And I keep hearing you saying that word. The other one that comes out for, in the fourth one, remaining grounded at the top. That's a whole chapter, but it requires you to master humility, a word people don't like hearing, integrity and balance. This is my favorite one. Entrepreneurship is not easy. It's not simple, but if you have role models and mentors, you are going to sail through. How does it feel to know people like Azim Jamal?
It's a great honor. There are some people you meet in life that will that completely change the trajectory of your thinking. Azim was one of those.
Yeah.
And after attending his seminars and reading his articles and interacting with him, that's why he says, I engaged him to coach me, but then I also realized that I should not benefit alone. So I engaged him also to coach my entire executive team.
Yes.
One-on-one.
Wow.
And he helped coaching. Sometimes we underestimate the value of coaching and mentorship. His interaction at that point was very timely, because there's a point when you're struggling with, you're a CEO, you have many people relying on you, dependent on you, you have business to push, you have government regulators to manage, stakeholders to keep, then you have a family, and you have your own life, and you don't want to lose any of those. Those are key components. How do you juggle all these components and the busyness, being busy and ensuring that you achieve what you want to at corporate level, but also at family level, because I was clear from the beginning that these things have to go in tandem.
Yes.
So you realize you're not the first person to struggle. That's what you realize when when you interact with these people.
Yes.
And he has helped many people, who have gone through similar struggle. And it's a usual struggle for people in leadership. and people who want to make an impact in life. So I think at any point in life, if you have an opportunity to engage a mentor or a coach, don't hesitate to do it.
Yeah.
They help you to align your focus,
Yeah.
refine your goals, and have an implementation program. And they become your accountability partner. Because when you are at the top, very few people will give you genuine advice. And that's why they say it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
So if you don't have somebody to professionally hold you accountable,
Yeah.
and guide you through you can very easily get mixed up.
Yeah.
In all this. So Azim is one of those, and I had mentioned to him,
yes,
those years when we were going through, because that when I retire, I would want to write a book.
Oh.
And he told me, he actually sent me an outline of how to write a book. In 2017. Yeah, I say if you want the easiest way to write a book,
yes,
agree on the chapters, arrange on the chapters, and whatever. Then now when you sit down to write, you can fill in. So when I finished my manuscript, I told him, remember you guided me to
yes.
It's ready.
Wow.
Please read it and
endorse.
Provide that forward.
Yes.
I was very humbled for him to accept. Those are people you never easily get access to.
Yes.
There is someone I have is in my speed dial.
Yeah.
If I need to consult with him.
Does he have a copy of the book?
Yeah, yes.
And how did it feel when you held your book for the first time like this? Like, how did that feel?
I don't think it's a feeling that you can describe in it's a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
That you've done something. And the power of a book is it leaves a lasting impact.
Yes.
It's a legacy project.
Yes.
So some of those things, and now when you see people reading and appreciating and acknowledging, you know that even long after you're gone,
yes,
people will have access to that book, read, and get inside your system to understand your thinking and draw some of the lessons that have pushed you forward.
Yeah.
That's the power.
This conversation is not complete until we talk about what the future of retirement looks like. If you go to many places around this country, you will find scattered and sometimes communities of people who build rather large houses. The children have left home. The house is big. It still needs to be maintained. And unfortunately, some of these mansions are in own compounds. And the people who live in them are just people in the 70s, 80s, 90s who can no longer be actively using every room in that house. And it's quite expensive to maintain that kind of living. So the future of retirement looks like community living. Again, we are going back to the way our forefathers lived. And so community living in a community retirement arrangement sounds like the way to go, not building too large a house, but a house that is manageable. But better still, if we can talk about a retirement village. Does that exist in Kenya like the way they have it in the diaspora? If you were in the upper class, you look for an upper class retirement community. If you were middle class, you look for a middle class retirement community. Does that exist in this country?
Upper class, yes. Maybe there are concepts that have come up.
Yeah.
That are taking care of the wealthy people. You can buy a retirement home and once in a while you go there. But there is need for the middle and even the lower income. Because the way life is moving now, we live in a globalized economy, village, where children, you can raise your children, but you never know where they will eventually end up in terms of career and working and settling down.
Yes.
And once you retire, what you need is a community around you.
Yes.
If you are lucky to have your family around you, well and good. Then you can settle with your family, which is desirous for everybody. But many people are not that lucky, and they end up finding themselves alone and isolated in moments when they need people more.
Yeah.
And that's why retirement villages are becoming a concept.
Yes.
Started in the West.
Yes.
But even in Kenya, you hear a lot of those conversations going on now. Because what do you need when you retire? You need a community, of course, a decent housing.
Yes.
Comfortable space.
Yes.
You need a community that you can walk around and hang around with.
Yes.
And, converse at that level.
Mm.
You need medical facilities.
Yes.
Because at that age, ailments that come with age.
Yes.
So you need a wellness.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Somewhere you can go play golf, play, pool or social places and all that.
Yeah.
So if people can design more of those villages, and then even as people work on retirement, then you can think ahead and say, I want to retire in this village.
Yes.
In this community, in this environment.
Yes.
So that it doesn't become, and you plan early, because people think of retirement when they're about to retire. Retirement is something you start from day one.
Yes.
Knowing that this is the environment I want to live in when I reach my stage where I want to slow down life. Yeah. So there's definitely room for that.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of developers, talking, having conversations around that. So very soon, I'm sure we will see communities coalescing and setting up retirement villages.
Yeah.
Either based on professions or financial class.
Yes.
Can be a community of teachers, a community of doctors, but at least once you retire, you have one another as a support system.
And you have chosen your neighbors.
And you have, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So as we close this conversation, what does the future look like for you in terms of book signings, book readings, and doing talks around your book?
So the future is open. And of course, the first challenge was to get the book published.
Yes.
The next challenge is to get the book reach to the targeted people.
Yes.
Audiences, so that it can start making an impact.
Yes.
So, yes, we are in that space.
Yeah.
The book is 4 months old.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of good vibes. So I think the next thing is to scale up the distribution.
Yes.
We're currently available at Nuria, the home of African books.
Yeah.
Books. Customers can reach directly to us.
Yeah.
We'll also make it available.
Yeah.
The next stage is what you're talking about now, organizing talks, and because this subject touches on everybody.
Yeah.
And particularly the young people, if we can impart knowledge in them early, so that then they're able to organize their lives early enough, in good time, then we will solve the retirement crisis that we always end up with, and the kind of panic and despair that strikes people when they know they are nearing retirement age and they are confused. They don't know what they're going to do next. Now, the best way to do that is to prepare for it, is to plan for it and prepare for it. And that planning is where people fail to do. Peter Drucker said, the only way to predict the future is to plan for it, is to
Wow, you create
create it. Yes, the
it.
only way to predict the future is to create it.
Wow.
So people need to start from the beginning. That
Yes.
how is my future going to be? How is my retirement life going to
Yes.
be? You cannot predict, but you can plan for it.
Yes.
And you can create it and eventually reach there and
Yeah.
say, this is where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Without that, it will be a continuous struggle.
Yeah. So basically what I'm hearing from you is that conversation is not in the hands of the government. It's not in the hands of other people like it used to be left to before.
Yeah.
It is now something that you're owning by creating it yourself.
This life is
Personal. Wow.
I think we need, it's something that we realized from the beginning, because you're better off focusing on something that is in your control to manage.
Yes.
You know, when you retire and you rely on government to pay you, government pays you when they want to pay, when funds are available. You never know, but even governments go bankrupt sometimes. And you have no control on when that pension will come, when you'll be paid, or if you'll be paid at all. If you plan it yourself, then you have control. And that is what we are advocating with financial independence.
Yeah.
Because then you have incomes that are in your control. You know when it's coming. You know what you need to increase it.
Yes.
And then you have control of all that. So control is very important. Because when you retire,
ownership.
It's you who retires. Your obligations don't retire.
Yeah.
You still need to pay for your house. You still need to put food on the table. You still, if you have children like we do who are still in school, you still have to pay school fees. So the person who retires is you. The obligations have to go. So you have to plan it in a way that you are in control. Control is a fundamental issue of the finances when you retire.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so we are done with the Joe segment of the interview, and you have had it yourself. A former regional bank CEO, and he's telling you, you need to relook at the numbers. You need to relook at everything all over again. Script your life, take control. This life is personal. When we come back, we shall be interviewing his better half, Elizabeth TAKA, and she'll give us the other side of the story. We'll be back shortly. Which property in the Optimum Group do I love? For me, it's the coastal property, Optimum Prime. You know, Optimum Prime is in the city, is not in the city, it's at the coast. And we all know what happens in Kenya in December. We all head down to the coast. How would it feel if you headed down to the coast with your friends and you all have properties neighboring each other? We're having a retirement conversation today, and we're saying that we want to surround ourselves with people who are of the same mindset, of the same level. Why don't you buy properties like the Karen doctors who are each other's neighbors? You know, this is the time to have those uncomfortable conversations so that 10, 20, 30 years from today, instead of spending a lot of money in hotels, you can live in your own home. Hashtag middle class Nairobi, hashtag location freedom. Live in your own home, and you can take the kids out for swimming in those expensive hotels, but you're living in your own home. Time to have that conversation. There are plots for sale. And if you make the decision, you know, that this conversation for you is an intentional conversation, look out for Joyce, the ghostwriter publisher, because you will be asked, where did you learn this conversation from? And you will be the winner of this voucher. And you can go have lunch with your children at GMC Place, which is in Karen. And this will make you feel like you're not just taking care of your children here in the here and now, but you're also thinking about their future. Can you continue living the same lifestyle if you did not have the paychecks and the incomes that are coming today? If you are comfortable about uncomfortable conversations and you sign up with Optiven for the Bipingo property, come, I will give you a voucher. If they ask you at Optiven where you learned about this retirement conversation, say it was Joyce, the ghostwriter publisher, also known as the host of the Bounce Back channel, home to Bounce Back Books. So we are back, and this time we have with us Elizabeth TAKA, simply known as Liz TAKA. And I want to talk with Liz and have a conversation with her, because with every story that you hear, there's another side of the story. There's a different angle, the wife angle. And so when you think of planning out a blissful retirement with your wife, it means you have to be on the same page. So today we're going to listen to the wife and how she agrees to be on the same page with you, so that when you're retiring, when you're planning your family, your money, and your retirement, you are on the same page. What is the secret sauce? We're joined with us in studio today with Liz, and I want to believe she's representing herself, not her millennial or Gen Z children. She'll tell us what made it work for them. How was she able to complete Joe's story of a blissful retirement, and an early retirement at that, because she had to also agree to retire early. Let's welcome her to the studio. Welcome, Liz. How does it feel to be seated in a hot seat?
It feels great.
Yes.
And thank you for that wonderful introduction. First, let me start by saying thank you for taking up our project.
Yes.
This was a project we started, and we needed that helping hand. And you came in swiftly and efficiently, assisted us produce this book.
Yeah.
And we are very grateful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I know people want to know, in this day and age of discordant couples, during COVID, people were splitting instead of coming together. And there's this thing I hear in Kenya right now called IDPs, internally divorced persons. What makes your marriage work?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Let me say it depends. It starts first with what we were, me and you. We were friends before we became a married couple. We were friends who helped each other through school, got out and decided to start this marriage.
Yes.
And when we started it, we were very intentional. Because remember, if you've heard the story, you've read the story, we were starting from two different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was to be intentional to make it work. So what makes it work for us, number one, is respect. We respect each other.
Yes.
We are friends.
Yeah.
We provide each other with what is termed as a safe space. So that everybody is allowed to speak their mind.
Yeah.
And we respectfully argue. We respectfully put our thoughts together, making it very easy.
Does it help that he admires your father?
It showed us, because it's been one of the greatest influence in our journey.
Yeah.
If from what we did as we were doing this journey, he's somebody who learns. Because you'd expect that if somebody visits your home and they see where you come from and where they come from, they would have a different opinion about you. Instead, for him, it was a challenge that he took up positively.
Yeah.
And it helped in our growth journey.
Yeah. I've noticed that men are very shy to date women who are in a better space financially, especially if you come from a better background. Did that affect in any way that for him he was coming from abject poverty and you are coming from comfort, relative comfort? Did you see him feel intimidated in any way by that?
No, he was not intimidated, because in a relationship, it's a partnership.
Yeah.
You should provide your partner with the comfort that he needs to be able to actually give his best.
Yeah.
It's not a competition.
Wow.
It's
Say
a
that again.
partnership.
Say that again.
It's not a competition. It's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
We are both bringing something
to
on the table.
table. Yeah. And that's why I'm going to ask you this question. And that's why I'm emphasizing it's not a competition, it's a partnership. I have had experiences of women who are married and you find them in the office stashing away their pay slips. And I happened to ask one of my bosses where I work somewhere, I'll not say where, and I found her having a bunch of pay slips. And I asked her, what are you doing with your pay slips, at work? Why do you look like you're stashing them somewhere? And she said, these ones don't arrive at home. Have you had such an experience, or is that unique to me?
No, it's not unique to me.
Yeah.
I guess I've seen it also, and I've seen it and I've experienced it in where I've worked.
Yes.
Personally, I don't get it. Because, let me give a background. I grew up in a home where my father was the only working parent.
Yes.
My mom was a housewife. The two of them built a home where my father was very transparent. The two of them ran a joint account.
Yes.
To date.
To date.
To date.
Wow.
Everything was open to my mom. And there was nothing like your money and my money.
Yes.
So with that background, I felt that was a good takeaway for me.
Yeah.
So even with Joe, there has never been his money and my money.
Yeah. It's our money.
Pay slips are openly displayed on the table.
Every month.
And we plan together.
Yes. Joint account or not joint account?
With no joint account.
But everything...
Everybody picks what they're comfortable to do. And it's not about 50-50, no.
Talk about that.
It's about bringing 100%. Everybody gives their 100%. Giving your best. It's not about this bill has to be split. Whatever I give is my 100%. I'm giving my best. So we've never quarreled about money because we all know what each of us earns and what each of us is capable of doing. And we agree on what you will do and what I will do. And it doesn't make him a less man that I'm supporting one or two things.
Yeah.
This is the modern day partnership where you have to, and actually it's the way relationships and marriages should work.
Yeah.
I should bring my 100%. And it's not about 50-50.
Yeah. So if 50-50 is not working, you bring 100%, I bring 100%.
Yes.
Are you a fan of Chimamanda?
Yes.
So is it that people do not understand this feminism thing? Or what do you think is the right perspective when it comes to women pulling in and especially working women? Because you were working and you actually agreed as well to retire early, around the same time with your husband. Yeah. So speak into whether whether the way she frames it, it's misunderstood or people just need to understand feminism through the African lens.
I think the feminism we had through the African lens worked. There was respect. As long as the man is not overbearing,
yes,
there are certain roles that we as women do best. We are naturals. And that cannot be taken away from us.
Yeah.
Then there's the role of the man who is supposed to be the provider.
Yeah.
He will provide. Along the way, we are actually bringing together a nurturer and a provider.
Yes.
Each of them is playing their role. But times have changed.
Yes.
That requires women to go out and support the providing aspect.
Yeah.
We should understand that it doesn't put us now in a position of where we want to rise above the men.
Yes, he's still in charge.
He's still in charge. The moment how do I put it? The moment we take it upside down, the dynamics change,
Yeah.
and we disrupt everything. There'll be divorces, there'll be
Yes.
unending quarrels.
Yes.
We basically disrupt the family unit.
Yeah.
So I guess it worked.
Mm.
Let's pick what worked and stay with it.
A friend of mine recently described that, what is happening in homes, as an implosion.
Yes.
Yeah. Could that be what you're also trying to describe? That the traditional structure works, even if the wife also brings something to the table?
Yes, the traditional structure works.
Still works.
It still works very, very much.
Yeah. Okay. So as we come to the close of this segment, allow me to read, because you wrote the book with Joe, allow me to read the book blurb. And as I read the blurb, you can think of what you want your closing thoughts to be. This Life is Personal provides tried and tested practical tools and insights for budding entrepreneurs or individuals seeking success in business or pursuing true financial freedom. The author spares no detail in outlining the steps one can take or issues one may face, shared through the lens of an individual who has walked the journey, experienced losses, and made powerful comebacks. This book is a must-read for anyone seeking to transform their financial condition. Despite growing up under very difficult circumstances, he found acceptance and love in the care of his aging and poor grandparents. You met them?
Yes, I did. I met the grandmother.
Yeah. You met the grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. Fortune favored him as he, determined to pursue a better life, succeeded in getting an education against all odds and scaled the corporate ladder to become a bank CEO. He overcame his family background to marry none other than you, and he calls you the love of his life. And together they are intentionally and mindfully raising their 3 sons, Ted, Will, and Mark. I'm thinking we do part 3 with the children. Huh? He overcame abject poverty, repurposed his life, built and is living his dream. He had a successful career, is enjoying a blissful retirement, and has financial freedom. Joe's genuine rags to riches story, as he candidly walks the reader through his greatest challenges and sorrows and invites them to not only celebrate his joys with him, but imagine a reality where they too can overcome hardships and achieve victories in life, free from a victim mindset. In closing, learn from the youthful retired banker turned entrepreneur and trainer what the secrets of a successful enterprise are, how to manage yourself, mitigate risk, and what kind of mindset to uphold along the way. So you are the Michelle to the Obama. Because he would not be where he is were you not in the background supporting him and pushing him every step of the way.
I want to agree with that.
Okay, so your closing thoughts as we wrap up this segment?
My closing remarks is basically to all the young who are looking forward to, who are married and are looking forward to being married. Marriage is not easy, but you have to be intentional about it. And whenever guys go to make their vows, they say, I do. And I want to close it with these remarks so that you can remember this. What the words I do should signify to everyone. This is an extract from a movie, a series that I've watched and has touched my life. They are about to say, I do. 3 little words, 3 little letters, 2 little words. It's the simplest part of the day, but there's nothing simple about the things that they will remain unsaid. I do means, I do know I could be hurt but I'm ready to be healed with you. It means I don't want to try, even when the fear of failure holds me back. And I do not know the future, but I'm ready to be surprised along the way. And I do means I do want to love you, and I do give you mine. And nothing we do will ever be the same, because you and I will be doing it together. Please remember that. It won't be easy, but it's doable. Challenges will be there, but love each other honestly and truthfully. Commit to it and be intentional.
I think there's no better way to end today's show, because those were profound words. And I love this bit of the book, This Life is Personal. To Liz, seated right here, my life story is incomplete without you in it, says Jo. You have been a strong pillar and the anchor of focus in my life and our family. Everything we have done together has turned out magnificently, and I believe this book will not be any different. Thank you for being a vital, complementing partner and for your Midas touch. That just brings us to the end of this show. And I wonder, for the married women who are listening, would your hubby say such wonderful things about you? We come to the end of the show, and we are so glad that you took time out to listen to how other people are doing it, making it in spite and despite the odds. This has been the Bounce Back channel, and we invite you to join us next time, where we shall be dealing with another book at another time. But before that, I want you to really just take time out and chew and reflect on the heavy topics, uncomfortable things that we're discussing today, because they can be uncomfortable today, but over time, they will help you make better decisions so that 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 years from today, your family will be glad that you had those uncomfortable conversations at the table with your Gen Zs and Gen Xs, and you can say it is because of uncomfortable conversations that we are living a comfortable and blissful retirement. That's all from us today, and we wish you well.